Time. There are 60 seconds in 1 minute. There are 30 minutes in half an hour. There are 15 minutes in a quarter of an hour. There are 45 minutes in 3/4 of an hour. There are 60 minutes in an hour. And there are 7 days in 1 week. The minute hand is the long hand. The hour hand is the short hand. This is the clock face. The numbers round the clock face are hours. The lines around the edge are the minutes. There are 60 minutes marked on the clock. When the big hand points to the 12, the time is o'clock. Then have a look at the small hand and work out what hour it is. On this clock, it's 3 o'clock. A clock face is a full circle which is made up of 2 halves, and it goes from the top to the bottom from 60 to 30, and it goes from the bottom to the top from 30 to 60. How many minutes make up half an hour? Pause the video and see if you can work it out. That's right, there are 30 minutes in half an hour. When we tell the time, we either say it is past the hour or to the next hour. If you look at this diagram, the yellow half of the face shows us from 12 down to 6, and that is past the hour. And when you go from half past back up to the next full hour, so that's the green side from 6 to 12, that is showing you to the next hour. When the big hand moves from the 12 to the 3, it is quarter past the hour. This is because the big hand has moved a quarter of the way round the clock face. When the big hand moves from the 12 to the 6, it is half past the hour. This is because the big hand moves forward halfway round the clock face. When the big hand moves from 12 to 9, it is quarter to the hour. This is because the big hand only has a quarter of the clock face to move to get back to the next o'clock.
Right, Year 2, I'm going to show you how to draw a clock face. You can either use whiteboard pens and a whiteboard, you can use paper and pencils, or paper and felt tips and crayons, whatever you've got, or you can get some chunky chalks and go outside and have some fun drawing on your patios. Right, so here's my clock. Put a big circle. At the top, I'm going to put 12 because that is our o'clock. Then I'm going to go a quarter of the way round and put a 3. I'm going to go half of the way round and put on hour 6. Then I'm going to go 3/4 of the way round and I'm going to put on 9. Now we need to fill in the bits in between. So between the 12 and the 3 there needs to be a 1 and a 2. Between the 3 and the 6 there needs to be a 4 and a 5. Between the 6 and the 9 there needs to be a 7 and an 8. Between the 9 and the 12 there needs to be a 10 and an 11. Okay, so if you put your spot in the middle, that will help you when it comes to using your hands. Okay, so when we put our hand up to the top, that is o'clock. And if our hand moves round this way, our big hand moves round this way, this is going clockwise round to the 6, which is half past. So this way here is half an hour. If you see very gently, if I put an invisible line up there, it will show you it's half the way round the clock. Okay, so the 3 means that this piece here is a quarter of the clock face, so that is quarter past 3, or quarter past 1, or quarter past 4, but it's a quarter of an hour past the hour of o'clock. Then you've got your half past, so that's half an hour past o'clock. And then we do something slightly different. We show it as to the hour. So on this side it's to, and on this side it's past. So as we leave the half past and we start going up to the next o'clock, this becomes so many minutes to the next hour. Okay, so this would show here, if I shaded in this bit here, so you've got a triangle here, that would show a quarter of an hour to the next o'clock. So that would be quarter to the next o'clock. Now, in between here, you've got minutes. So in between here you should have 5 minutes. So we've got, in effect, this is going to say 0. And then this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So you can see all the way around the clock there is going to be 60 minutes, because that's 60 minutes in 1 hour. So you can see I've gone all the way around and I've put all of the minutes on my clock, so that has now got 60 minutes all the way around the edge. Now when we look at time, we very often think about our counting in fives in our 5 times table. That's because each of these numbers here is made up of 5 minutes. Okay, so we start counting in fives. So when we get to the 1, it's 5 past. When we get to the 2, it's 10 past. When we get to the 3, it's quarter past or 15 minutes past. When we get to the 4, it's 20 past, 25 past, 30 minutes past or half an hour. So looking at the hours. So this is our O clock hand. So this is our minute hand. If I were to put my hour hand here, which is smaller, and it were to point up at the number 1, what time would this clock be showing? Tell the video what time it's showing. It's showing 1 o'clock. Well done. Give yourself a pat on the back if you said 1 o'clock. I'm going to rub that one out. I'm going to put this one on. Tell the video what time this is saying. Give yourself a pat on the back if you said 3 o'clock. Well done. If I were to put my hour hand here, what time would I be showing? Tell the video what time my clock says. Well done. If you said 8 o'clock, you are exactly right. Now it becomes a little bit trickier. When we move on from o'clock to half past, it becomes a little bit trickier because our minute hand has gone all the way around to the bottom. So this is now going to be my minute hand. Now, because I have gone past an hour, because this is my past time, if I were to put my hour hand on, I wouldn't be saying o'clock anymore. So it wouldn't be directly pointing at that number. So it's going to have moved on just a little bit. So if I put my hour hand here, I've gone past the number 5, but I haven't got to the number 6 yet. So I'm going to be showing half past 5 because it's gone past the 5, but it hasn't got to the number 6 yet. I can show you that on my clock here. So the hour hand, oops, let's go the right way around, is at the half past. And because I haven't got yet, oops, to the number 6, my hour hand, let's just make him sit still, is pointing halfway between the 5 and the 6. So it's half past 5, okay? See if you can see what time this one says. So we've got our half past, and I'm going to put my hour hand here. Tell the video what time you think it is. Well done if you put half past 7 because it's half past and it's gone past the 7 but it hasn't got to the 8 yet. So it's half the way past 7 before getting to the 8. So it's half past 7. Okay. Half past, let's see, half past, oh, that hand's a bit long, but never mind. So what time is my clock showing now? If you said half past 1, you are exactly right. Give yourself a pat on the back. It is half past 1. It's gone past the 1 before getting to the 2. Well done. Now, this is where it becomes a little bit more tricky. Quarter past is here. And also you will find when your hour hand has moved from up here and it's gently ticking round here, it will again move forward. So if I put this here, it's going to say 1:15 because it's gone past the 1, because it's a quarter of an hour. Let me show you. A quarter of an hour past the hour of 1. Okay? I'll leave you to have a little think about that. And also, if I'm going to do 1:45 the hour, I would put my hand here. This is 1:45. I have got 1/4 of an hour left until I get to the next o'clock. Okay?
Pause the video and see if you can work out the times on my clocks. Remember, if the big hand falls between two numbers, you always use the lower number for the hour when it is the time of past the hour. And when the time reads to the hour, you move forward to the highest number of the hour.
I think I might order a takeaway. Thank you very much. What time will my takeaway be ready? Thanks then. Bye-bye. Mr Sutton, it's 7 o'clock. Our takeaway will be ready in 45 minutes. Pause the video and work out what time Mr Sutton has to fetch the takeaway. Right, you can see the time is 7 o'clock here. Mr Sutton has got to fetch our takeaway in 45 minutes. So let's see what time it will be when he gets there. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So the time will be 7:45. So the big hand is past the 7 and on its way to the 8, and it's 15 minutes or a quarter of an hour until the next o'clock. Hey Year 2, I've just decided I'm going on a bus journey. Let's have a look at the timetable. When does the first bus leave North Cross Road in the morning? Let's have a look at the timetable. Up we go. Oh, there's North Cross Road. The first bus. What time does that first bus leave? Okay, so if I was to get on that bus and my journey were to take me 1 hour, what time would I reach my destination? Pause the video and have a go at working out. An hour from 9:55 or 5 to 10. Okay, so the bus leaves at 9:55. If my journey was going to take me 1 hour, what time would I arrive? Okay, so I'm going to move my minute hand and I'm going to move it all the way around the clock until it's back where it started, because that will be 1 hour, and let's see what time it will say. Right, I've gone all the way around with my minute hand, so that's 60 minutes all the way around, so that moved on another hour. So the time when I would arrive at my destination would be 5 to 11. I've decided to cook this curry for tea. How long will it take? Well, the recipe says it takes 30 minutes to cook this chicken curry. It's 5:30 now. What time will my curry be ready to eat? The time is 5:30 and it takes half an hour. There are 30 minutes in half an hour. So I'm going to move my minute hand around half the way to the top, and my hour hand will also move round, and it will show the time will be 6 o'clock when my curry is ready for tea. Year 2, I've just popped to the shops to grab some milk for my breakfast. The time is 9:15 and I was gone for 15 minutes. What time did I go to the shop? So I arrived back from the shop at 9:15 and my journey took me 15 minutes. So I've got to work out when I left to go to the shop. So I've got to take my time backwards slightly to work out what time. So I've got to go backwards by 15 minutes. So 5, 10, 15 minutes. So I actually left my house at 9 o'clock to fetch the milk for my breakfast.